Good morning, everybody. And as usual, happy Saturday. Hope everybody's having a good start to their weekend. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's stick mobility class. So, as you can see, we're still in my home. So we are going to need access to a long and a short stick and a pad for us to kneel on because we are going to be doing a couple of half kneeling drills today. Now we're still focusing on that deep front line. So the main objective for today is actually going to be more specifically lower body focus. We're going to be focusing on the adductors, getting those involved. And we're going to do that from ascending isometric. And then we're also going to get into a hip flexion with abduction drill. That one's going to be a hard one, but it's going to be fun. But we're going to start with our warm-up going from the feet up, and then for the cool down, focusing on those hips again, since we are going to be doing mainly hip drills for today. Now, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with the short stick here, and we're going to do feet and ankle drills. So I'm going to step back, and I want to have my feet roughly a little wider than shoulder width here. Toes are going to be pointed forward. I want the stick to be right in line with my center line here. Bottom of the stick is angled in towards me. I'm going to stack both hands, right hand over left for now, and then I'm going to have my hands at roughly about chest height. I want to make sure I'm up nice and tall here. From here, go squatting down a bit. I'm going to bring both heels up nice and high. Keep all 5 toes in contact with the floor. And then I'm going to bring my heels back down slowly, hover them off the floor, then bring the heels back up again. We don't want the torso level to change here. Heels down. Good. Hover. Heels up. Stay nice and balanced here. We're not driving the stick down. Now I'm going to drop my right heel, keeping my left heel up high, and then I'm going to bring my right heel up and drop my left heel. Good. Switch. Left up, right down. Good. Right up, left down. All 5 toes have to remain in contact with the floor here, folks. Left up, right down. Good. Right up, left down. Bring that left heel up. Bring the heels down. Keep them hovering. Don't let them touch the heels touch the floor. Now what I'm going to do from this position is I'm going to laterally shift my heels here. So I'm going to shift both heels to the left. So I'm on the big toe on my right foot, pinky toe on my left. Then I'm going to shift my heels to my right, left. Good. Right, left. Good. Right, left, and right. Back to center. Down nice and easy. And relax. Now we're going to get into pelvic tilts. We're going to do pelvic tilts from a split stance position. Since we are going to be working on splitting those hips a little bit today, this is going to have some carryover here. Now I'm going to go with a split stance position. I'm going to have my right foot forward. Left foot's going to be back, and I want that back heel to be up nice and high here. I'm going to have the bottom of the stick angled in toward, basically about in line with the ball of my front foot here. I'm going to have my left hand stacked over right, so I'm switching hands here. And I'm going to load that front leg from this position here. Standing up nice and tall, nice good posture. I want to drive the stick down about 30%, keeping those arms straight, nice good tall posture here. Now I'm going to do a posterior tilt. So I'm going to tuck my pelvis posteriorly, squeeze my left glute, and I'm going to drive my left heel down towards the floor. Now I'm going to go anterior tilt. So I'm going to ease off, and I'm going to round or get that excessive, not round, but extend that low back. I'm going to do a posterior tilt, so driving the stick down 30%. Use that left heel to further engage the glute. Now anterior tilt. Good. Posterior tilt. Drive that heel down. Anterior tilt. Back to center and ease off. Small movement, but effective. So now we're going to switch sides. So left foot is forward, right foot is back, right heel is up nice and tall. Hands are stacked at shoulder, about chest to shoulder height. Drive the stick down 30%. Posterior tilt. Drive that right heel down. Good. Anterior tilt. Extend that low back. Feel those low back tissues get active. posterior tilt. Good. Squeeze, anterior tilt. Excellent. Posterior tilt. Drive that right heel down. Anterior tilt. Let's go one more time here, folks. Posterior tilt. Drive the heel down and anterior tilt. Excellent. Back to center and relax. We're going to grab our second stick here. And this is what I have access to. If you got two long sticks, this is perfect for you to use. I'm going to start with my feet together. I'm going to have both sticks angled out. So I want my sticks at 3 and 9. We're just going to be doing a little bit of a light isometric here. We're not building a lot of tension. We're just warming up those hips here. So I'm actually going to step over. Feet are together. Hands are out at 3 and 9. Hands are at shoulder height. Drive those sticks down about 30% tension. Hover the right foot off the floor. Bring it out to the right stick. Push with the middle of your foot. Keeping your ankle dorsiflexed and foot facing forward. Only 30% here. Just trying to activate those lateral tissues in the hips. Bring it back in. Foot down. Keep driving those sticks down. Hover the right foot. Bring it to the right stick. Push. Only 30% here, folks. You should be feeling those lateral hip tissues working. Keep your foot facing forward. Back in. Down. One more time on that side. Hover. Bring the foot to the stick. Push. There's only 30%. You're not going sub-max. You're going very sub-maximal here. This is just a warm-up. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Back in. And ease off. Take a second. Now we're going to switch over to the other side. So if you're finding that you're actually shifting and moving around a lot, it means you're trying to compensate, right? Move the stick in a little bit. Close that distance if you need to. Drive both sticks down 30%. Hover the left foot. Bring it to the left stick and push. Breathe. Keep your foot facing forward. That's extremely important for this. Back in and ease off. Now we've done drills before where I had you externally rotate the hip. We're not going for that right now. Drive the sticks down. Hover. Left foot to the stick. Push 30%. Need to stay balanced on that right leg. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Place it down. Excellent. One more time. So driving those sticks down. Hover the left foot. Bring it to the left stick. Push. Excellent. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. And ease off. Excellent. Good. Now we're going to work with internal, external rotation here. What we're going to do is we're going to work our hip higher in a flexion. Again, we're just using this as a warm-up, so we're not really going to be pushing against the stick. Instead, we're going to tap the sticks. So I'm going to start with my feet together again. I'm going to have both sticks angled in towards me. Hands are in front. So from here, drive those sticks down. Only about 30% tension here. Also, you can move the sticks in or out depending on your mobility. So drive both sticks down, 30%. Bring the right leg, right knee in front. It's starting low. Externally rotate. Touch the stick. And then internally rotate. Excellent. Back to center. Come up a bit more. Externally rotate. Good. And then internally rotate. Back to center. Come up higher. Externally rotate. And then internally rotate. Back to center. Come down a bit. Externally rotate. Tap. And then internally rotate. Good. Down more. External. And internal. Back to center. All the way down and ease off. We're going to switch sides now. Drive both sticks down. Hover that left leg in front. Externally rotate. back to center, internally rotate. Good. Come up a little higher. External, internal. Good. Come up higher. External and internal. Back to center, down a bit. External, internal. Good. Down a bit more. External and internal. Back to center and down. Ease off. Take a second here. Now let's go ahead and get into warming up the spine here. I'm going to take the short stick and we're going to place it down. We're going to take pad or mat, something for you to kneel on here. And we're going to do a tall kneeling rotation. Now for this rotation, we really want to make sure that we're controlling the hips. We're doing it from a tall kneeling position just so we don't get as much movement out of the hips. So we kind of lock the hips in place a little bit here. Now, I'm going to have a forward position. I want something stable to push the stick into. Now, notice the distance I am from the wall, right, or something stable, is I'm actually at a relatively good distance, but if the stick's on my shoulder, it's actually going behind my head. I want to make sure I have enough room there so that when I do go to rotate, I have room to really turn those shoulders into it here. Now, from this position, up nice and tall, squeeze your glutes. It's really important. Have the bottom of the stick in line with your center line here. I'm going to start by rotating to my left only. So my left hand is actually going to be on top of my right, and I want to have my hands roughly about face height or a little higher. From here, I want to lightly drive the stick forward, squeeze my glutes, and then from here, I'm going to rotate out to my left, keeping my hips forward. We're not getting any opening of the hips. Squeezing those glutes keeps those hips forward. Come back up. Excellent. Let's go again. So drive that stick down about 20%. Make sure, try to get both arms straight. Back up. Let's go again. Breathe. Back up. And ease off. Take a second. Now we're going to switch our hands here. So from here, arms are straight. Drive down lightly. I'm going to rotate to the right. Try to keep your left hand straight, or left arm straight. Come back up. Excellent. Let's go into it again. Good. Back up. One more time. Good. Keep the run. Really want to rotate through the shoulders here. Back up. And ease off. Excellent. So I'm going to slide over just a little bit more. And we're going to be in a half kneeling position here. Now, for this drill, I'm going to come forward. I'm going to have my right foot forward, back foot is extended. I'm plantar flexing that ankle, so I want to drive that back foot into the floor here. What we're going to do is we're going to really work on creating some tension all the way through the hip. We get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch here because we are going to shift forward, but we're also going to use a stick to add in some rotation. So we're getting the hips and we're getting the spine. I'm going to have the bottom of the stick in line with the heel of my front foot here. So it's not super far out, it's not really close either. The stick is slightly angled outwards, the bottom of the stick is outwards from the outside of my hip here. I'm going to first drive that back foot into the floor. Notice I have a little bit of a bend in my front arm. You can adjust as you need to. I'm going to shift forward to get a nice little hang. You can move that left hand up a little higher. And now from this position here, I'm going to rotate side to side. I'm going to rotate towards that front leg, driving that back foot down, so you should be feeling a nice good stretch through those hip flexor tissues and even the quad a little bit. Now I'm going to rotate to the left. Excellent. Rotate to the right. Breathe. Excellent. Now left. Good. Right. And left. Excellent. Back to center. And ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here, folks. So I'm actually going to turn to the side. And I'm going to do that same thing. Right hand is up. All right. Drive that back foot into the floor. Sink forward into the stretch. Get a nice little hang in the hand. Other hand's on the stick for added support. I'm going to rotate to the left or towards my front leg. We're only driving the foot into the ground about 20%. Then I'm going to rotate to the right. Really try to open up those lines. Rotate to the left. Breathe. To the right. Excellent. Left. Good. And right. Wonderful. Back to center. And ease off. Excellent. Now since we're going to use the other stick, we're going to get into a hip flexion abduction or adduction drill. So we're going to still work on those. So working on a deep front line, and actually us working on the hip flexion drill while adding in adduction really gets those deep front line, because the adductor, the long adductor in particular, is actually really tied into that line. So I'm going to take the other stick here, and we're going to start off with the easiest progression. So for this, I'm going to start with my feet together, and I'm going to have both sticks angled in towards me. Now the distance of the sticks is going to be relatively close. I'm going to start off on my right leg first, and also don't be afraid to adjust this hand a little bit if you need to, in order to make sure that everything's in contact with the stick here, okay? So I'm going to drive both sticks down at 60% and push. Should be feeling all those core tissues turn on. Let's just hold this position here. Get the core nice and warmed up. Keep driving down at 60%. Shoulders down. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Take a second. Now we're going to add in the hip flexion with the adduction. So we're going towards our center line here, folks. Drive the sticks down 60% and push. I'm going to bring my right leg onto the outside of the stick, and I want to compress. So I want to pull with pull that right leg towards my center line. So I need to reflexively pull out with the right hand. I'm going to slide, hip up, hold, back down, and ease off. Take a second. We're going to do that again. Now, my ankle was relaxed at that point. Let's dorsiflex that ankle, further connect that line. Drive the sticks down. Good. Bring the right leg on the outside of the stick. Drive against the stick, slide up. Hold. 3, 2, 1, slide back down. And ease off. Let's go one more time. Then we're going to switch sides. Drive down. Bring the foot to the stick. Slide up. Hold. 3, 2, 1, and down. Ease off. Excellent. Let's go ahead and switch sides here, folks. Same thing. Drop both sticks down, 60%. The left foot to the left stick. Push. Keep that right leg straight. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Down. Ease off. Good. Let's go 2 more. Drop down. Bring the foot to the stick. Compress. Adduct the hips. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Down. Ease off. Let's go one more time here, folks. Sorry, hands are a little sweaty. Drive down. Bring the left leg to the stick. Compress. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Down. Excellent, and ease off. Now, we're actually going to make this harder. We're going to add in the knee extension to this. So with adding in that knee extension, that creates much more demand and challenge on those tissues. So if you can't fully extend your knee, that's okay, but you want to try to fully get as much extension as you can possibly manage here. So we're just going to do 2 reps of this per side. However, the repetition that we're doing is we're going to go through extending that knee 3 times. All right? So from here, let's go ahead and get set again. Drop both sticks down. Bring the right foot on the outside of the stick. Keep the knee in contact. Extend. It's 1. Keep compressing. 2. One more time. 3. Back down. And ease off. Take a second. Let's go one more time. So we're getting those anterior tissues, but you should still be compressing. That's why you're seeing a bow on the stick. One more time on this side. Drop both sticks down. Bring it to the outside of the stick. Compress. Bring it up. Extend. 1. Extend. 2. Extend. 3. Down. Ease off. Take a second. Now we're going to get into the other one. So there's actually quite a bit of a harder progression here. So drop both sticks down 60%. The left foot on the outside of the stick. Slide up. Make sure you're adducting. Extend. 1. Extend. 2. One more time. Extend. 3. Down. Ease off. Take a second. Let's go one more time, folks. Doing good. Doing good. Drop both sticks down. Left foot on the outside of the stick. Adduct that hip. Good. Extend. 1. Extend. 2. Extend. 3. Down. And ease off. Excellent. Now, we're going to place the short stick down. We are going to get into our adduction. Now, this would be good with a slider, something to kind of slide out. But for the sake of convenience, if you have a chair or a bench, or like me, couch, this would be a good time for you to get to that, because we are going to be using the couch or elevation from the couch to really facilitate isometrically contraction of the adductor here. Now, I'm going to step back here, and I'm going to be driving the stick into the floor. So if we're driving the stick up, we get those extensors, we get the posterior tissues. If we're driving the stick down to the floor, we access those anterior tissues. So I'm going to have my foot on the couch, on my couch, and I want to have my foot flat. I don't want to be on the inside of my foot here. We kind of lose that connection a bit. So I want to make sure that my foot is pointed forward, but also that my foot is completely flat. The height is going to depend, go whatever height you'd like, if you can manage. From here, I have the stick in line with my center line here. Bottom of the stick is angled in towards me. It's really important that we keep that active leg straight. So keeping that leg straight, I'm gonna have both hands stacked at about chest height here. I'm gonna first drive the stick down 50%, activating those anterior tissues here. Now I'm going to push my right foot down into the couch. Let's start at 20%. Increase it to 30. Good. 50%. So you should be increasingly driving that foot down even harder. 70%. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Take a second. Should be feeling that adductor line all the way up into the groin. Activate here. Let's go again. Foot's on. Leg is straight. Drive the stick down 50%. Activate those tissues. Drive the foot into the couch 20%. 30. 50. 70. And ease off. Excellent. Take a second. If you need to move your leg around, move it around. The reason why I'm having you ramp up is so you're just not going in and firing all those tissues super quick, but the adductors can tend to be a little sensitive, if you will. Let's go one last time here. Leg straight, drive the stick down 50%, 20% push. You're also going to feel that left or this grounded leg working too. 30, 50, good, 70, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent, good. Now we're gonna switch sides, so unfortunately we have to turn around, folks. Actually, no I don't. Cool, I can go from here. Right, we're gonna do that same thing. Stick is angled out in front, switch your hands. Drive the stick down 50%, push. Drive that foot down 20%. 30. Good, 50. 70. Good, and ease off. Excellent. 2 more reps, folks, 2 more reps. Drive the stick down 50%. Left leg straight. Push 20%. Drive it down. 30. 50. 70. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. One more time, folks. Last one. Arms straight. 50% drive the stick down. 20% drive that leg down. 30. Breathe. 50. 70. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Woo. Excellent. Adductors should be feeling quite nice right now. Now we're going to switch into our cool down, folks. Now we're going to get into stretching out those tissues that we were just working on. We're going to start with the Guitar Hero stretch. I'm sure some of you are very, very familiar with this, but I'll show this from the side first. Now for this stretch, I'm going to start with my right knee down, left foot is going to be out. My back foot is plantar flex, so I'm extending that ankle so I can drive that back foot into the floor, activate the right side, get those tissues nice and active. We're moving, we're shifting laterally. We want to make sure that we keep control of this left leg. We don't want the knee going in. We kind of miss the stretch a little bit because we're also getting the abductors a little bit on this leg. I'm going to have the bottom of the stick angled out relatively far. My left hand is going to be extended on the opposite side. Right hand is going to be right about where my belly button is, or right about where the center of my pelvis is. From this position here, I'm going to drive my back foot into the floor, squeeze my right glute. That might feel like a little bit of a stretch already. Now from here, I'm going to sink into my left hip, and I'm going to drive that right hand going down towards the floor, reflexively pulling up with the left. We're not trying to create a ton of tension. We're just going for a nice good stretch. We're going to hold this for about 20 seconds here. So make sure you're breathing, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Excellent. Rotate the stick a bit. We're going to do that same thing again. Left hand is extended on the stick. Right hand is in the same spot. Drive that back foot down, squeeze that right glute, shift into that left hip, and drive that right hand down towards the floor. Keep that left knee out. So you should be actively abducting that left hip. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to switch. I'm going to turn forward here. We're going to do that same thing. Right leg is out, left leg is down, top of the foot, driving down into the floor. Going to set up that same way. Right hand fully extended at the end of the stick here. Left hand is roughly about belly button height or distance on a stick. From here, drive the back foot down, squeeze the left glute, sink into that right hip, and drive that left hand down towards the floor. Keep that right hip abducted. You should be feeling a nice good stretch in your adductors here. That's what we're going for, folks. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Slowly ease off. Excellent. Rotate the stick a bit. Gonna go again one last time. Drive the back foot down, squeeze the left glute. Drive out and drive that left hand down towards the floor. Breathe. Excellent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Nice and easy. We're going to switch into stretching out the hip flexor, and then we're going to progress into the couch stretch. Cool thing is about a couch stretch is when you actually have a couch, you can actually do it. I'm going to come forward here. And for the hip flexor stretch, we're going to start in a sagittal plane. So we're just going to go in the forward position. Then we're going to angle this front leg out so we actually get the short adductor here. So get that groin to really stretch. We're going to have the right foot forward. We're going to have the bottom of the stick angled to be about in line with the ball of my front foot here. Back foot is plantar flex. So ankle is extended. Stick is in line with the center line here. Hands are roughly about chest height. You can always adjust your hands as you need to. Drive the stick down about 20%. Drive that back foot down into the floor. Squeeze your left glute and tuck your pelvis posteriorly. Hold that position. That's already going to feel like a nice good stretch on the front of that hip here. So breathe. Hold. Doing long duration holds here, folks. Excellent. Ease off. Take a second. Now we're going to shift forward a little bit. Drive the stick down, drive the back foot down, tuck the pelvis and squeeze the glute. Now I'm going to shift my hips forward just a bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Now we're going to get a little bit more of a stretch on the front of that hip and those anterior tissues. So actually, as we go into the couch stretch, it'll feel pretty good because some of those tissues will already be stretched and loosened up. Doing a couch stretch will just further facilitate a little bit of a better stretch and activation. Now I'm going to ease off, nice and easy, good. You can wiggle your right foot forward like I am, just a smidge. And we're going to go into that again. Drive the stick down, drive that back foot into the floor, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. Now we're going to shift our hips forward even more than we did on the last one. So now we're going to get an even bigger stretch. Breathe. And 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get into that short adductor. This one, we're just going to do one time, but we're going to do about a 30 to 45 second hold here. I'm going to cue you through breathing because that's going to be super important to get those tissues to kind of relax, but also allow everything to kind of loosen and get into that stretch a little bit deeper, a little bit more effective here. So I'm actually going to move the stick over just a little bit. My right leg is out at about a 45-degree angle. Toes are angled out at a 45-degree angle as well. I'm going to have my hands stacked. Stick is still in front. I'm not moving the stick over here. Just because my hips are going that way doesn't mean the stick needs to go that way. Drive the stick down, 20%, drive that back foot into the floor, squeeze the glute, and now we're going to shift forward into that front leg. Remember, so we're going out diagonally, we're going this way. So when I hold, we're going to take deep breaths here. So when you breathe, I want you to think about diaphragmatic breathing. Breathe in through your belly button and lower abdomen here. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. Good. Let's go through that breath cycle a few more times. Deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale. Slowly ease off. Take a second. Now we're going to switch sides, folks. So now I'm going to go my left foot forward. We're going to go through all those same exact progressions. Nothing's changed. Switch your hands. Drive your back foot down. Drive the stick into the floor. Tuck your pelvis and squeeze your right glute. Take advantage of that stretch. Should be feeling pretty good here. Now, sometimes the issue is when people go into a hip flexor stretch, you're not cueing the proper movement patterns or movement from certain aspects to really access the psoas, iliacus, the rec fem. Want to ease off. So they miss the stretch a lot and they're like, I'm not really feeling this much. How you cue into a stretch makes all the difference. So always remember there's certain cues to think about. Drive the stick down, drive the back foot into the floor, tuck your pelvis and squeeze your right glute. Now shift forward just a little. Just getting a little bit more of a stretch here. Breathe. If you find that you're holding your breath or you're starting to get a little sporadic with your breathing, back off a little bit. Remember, this is always adjustable to you. Ease off. Let's go one more time. You can wiggle that front foot forward a little bit more if you'd like. Drive the stick down, drive the back foot down, tuck your pelvis and squeeze your glute, and shift those hips forward a little bit more. Breathe. Should be feeling good here. Starting to slowly loosen up. All right. Excellent. 3, 2, 1. Slowly ease off, relax. Let's go ahead and move that left leg out to a 45-degree angle. Shifting diagonally here. Sorry, so we're going here, right? Not forward. Move the stick over just a little bit. Drive the stick down. Drive the back foot down, squeeze the right glute, and shift forward into that front leg. Getting a nice good stretch in that short adductor, that groin area. Breathe. So remember, deep diaphragmatic breaths, right? You want to think about a 360-degree expansion in the rib cage. Breathe. Go through one more time. Exhale. Slowly ease off. Excellent. Let's go to get into that couch stretch, shall we? So I'm going to move this over. So this is a quick reminder. As we're doing a couch stretch, if getting your glutes closer to your heel is going to intensify that stretch. So if you need to take off that tension, maybe it's just too much of a stretch, it's like a 9 out of 10, shift your hips forward a bit so you actually get off those anterior tissues a little bit, all right? Try not to forget that. Don't want to go into a 9 or 10 out of 10 for the stretch. The stretch should be like a 6 or 7 out of 10 at best. So I'm going to have my right foot on. Drop my right knee down. I'm going to have the stick right in front of my hips. So this is what I'm going with. You can have the bottom of the stick angled out if you'd like, right? Especially if you're actually shifting forward. But for me, I'm going to have the stick directly in front of my right leg here. And I'm going to have my right hand up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first activate. So I'm going to drive my back foot into the floor or back into the couch and squeeze my glute. And I'm going to shift my hips back a bit. Now for me, this is a nice good stretch. This is about a 6 or 7. It's about a 6 out of 10 for me. So I'm going to hold this position here, and activating that leg by driving the foot down further facilitates a greater contraction, which is going to lead to a bigger stretch. The brain can recognize when there's tension in certain tissues, especially as you stretch. So this is going to hold on a little bit longer, especially when you go into warming up for certain things. Hold. Breathe. Again, it's another long hold, right? We're only driving that foot down about 20%. It's really, really light here, folks. Nothing too crazy. Excellent. Ease off. Assist yourself up and switch sides. So the right foot is forward. Left foot's on the couch here. That knee down. I'm going to bring the bottom of the stick in directly in front of my leg. Left hand is up. I'm going to drive that back foot into the couch, tuck my pelvis, squeeze my glute. And I'm going to keep the stick in nice and close. This also is going to keep you a little bit more true to it. All right, shows if you're actually being upright or if you're flexing over. All right, so make sure you pay attention to what your spine and your entire body's doing. We need to make sure we have that overall awareness. Breathe. Excellent. Hold. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Assist yourself up. One last thing, let's get into a quick bow and arrow. We're just going to treat this kind of more so as repetitions. Just going to go in and out of the bow and arrow. We're just going to do 5 reps, 2-second holds for each one. We're going to go with a about hip width stance. Toes are pointed forward. Stick is on my left side, roughly about 6 to 8 inches from the outside of my foot. Left hand is where about hip height. Right hand comes up and over, thumb facing down towards the floor. We're going to drive the stick down about 20%, really, really light. We're going to keep that tension there. Remember, we're just going to floss in and out of this. So from this position, we're going to drive the hips away from the stick, extend those hands out. 1, 2, back in. Again. 1, 2, in. Extend. 1, 2. Good. Extend. 1, 2. Last one. Extend. 1, 2. Ease off. Take a second. Let's switch sides. So now we're on the opposite side here. Setup is still the same. Left hand over the top. Thumb facing down towards the floor. Drive the stick down 20%. Extend out. 1, 2. Back in. Extend. 1, 2. Good. Extend. 1, 2. 2 more. Extend. 1, 2. Last one, folks. Extend. 1, 2. Ease off. And that, my friends, concludes today's Sick Mobility class. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in my home. I will be sure to catch you all next week. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Have a good one.